NaLyssa bring the power, Jackie bring the fight. Chelsea got the sauce, Becky got the sight. Mark built a whole dynasty in these Vegas lights. Not a whole league trying to keep up every single night. Championships, records, the standard bearer. We welcome you all to the Aces era.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Aces Era podcast. I'm Kevin, and that's CJ, and we're here to talk Aces basketball. The good, the bad, the petty, the messy, and the elite. If it has anything to do with the Las Vegas Aces, we're talking about it. CJ, yesterday the banner went up, and we played the Los Angeles Sparks, and it was BTA for us by Kelsey Plum. Wow.
It was almost like she was mad that her name was not on the banner and was trying to get on there.
She was looking up there and said, 2 other banners, my name is right there on the side. This banner, no KP, I'm going to go ahead and get my name up there.
Right? Like, she dropped 38, 4, and 9.
It was quite a sight to see for everyone involved, with her accounting for nearly 60 points. It was a crazy, crazy day. And mind you, this is without NECA. This is without Cam Brink at the end of the game. This is without them starting Ray, no Tanaya Latson. This was just, it would have tracked meet at some points.
Yeah.
It was up and down, up and down. It was quite the game. So today we're going to get into the Sparks game. The Aces only had one game this week leading into this episode. And so they only played the Sparks. They had the rest of the week off. And as you know, the Aces really predicate themselves on defense. And we didn't see much of it out there. Once again, though, another fantastic turnout by Chennedy Carter, who ended up having 23 points in 26 minutes. I think on the season she's averaging a point a minute, which is remarkable.
It's kind of ridiculous that she goes out there and she's just like, get out of my way, I have things to do, which is score the basketball.
Correct. And she was 4 for 4 for 3 as well.
Which is wild because, again, we're going to talk about small sample sizes a lot today because I have a lot of numbers to talk about. Mm-hmm. She, after going 4 for 4 from 3, she is shooting 58% from 3 from the field. So let's, again, talk about small sample sizes. She's 7 of 12. Not a lot of threes, but her career high is 37%, and she's never shot above 30% any other season other than that one season, which was her rookie year, shooting 58% from 3. And coming into the season, I talked about how, if she could hit threes, she's going to be unguardable. Mm-hmm. She went 4 for 4 yesterday. She was unguardable.
It's so crazy because, the way Kennedy moves and how fast she is, she can get to the rim with ease. By adding that 3-point shot, you have to now respect it as she then blows by you and gets to the rim.
Yeah, because she doesn't even have to be a good 3-point shooter. She just needs to be an average 3-point shooter. She just needs to hit 33, 34%.
Yeah. It was quite an interesting spectacle from her yesterday. Me and you were both in the building. The Aces were able to raise their banner. So let's just take them through the game. I mean, from the moment they stepped on the court, I realized that NECA was out. And when we look up at the Jumbotron, it said that the only injury the Aces had reported was Dana Evans. So this was Janiah Barker's first game active.
Yep. Did you think she was actually going to get in?
I thought there was a chance she could because with NECA out, I thought that the Aces were going to be able to get to the rim pretty easily. Unfortunately, Cam Brink ended up getting the start along with Erica Williams. And so with Cam starting, they moved Ray Burrell out of the starting lineup. and went with a lineup of Cam, De'Erica, Erica Atkins, Erica Willer, and Kelsey Plum. That was their starting lineup instead, which then allows that lineup is pretty good for the Sparks because then it allows Kelsey Plum to play off ball. She's not forced to be the point guard, and it lets Erica Willer be the point guard for them.
Well, not only that, but the spacing for that lineup is immaculate.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in that lineup could shoot. It allows her to drive and kick. And if she wants to, like, because she is so good at driving, like, we kind of talked about how Chennedy filled the spot that KP left. She hit a few step back threes because they had to respect the drive.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that lineup, especially with Cam being in center, Cam is the biggest 6'4" forward I've ever seen in my life.
It's like when Kevin Durant was 6'12".
Yeah. Because Cam Brink is definitely 6'6" or so. And she has a lot of length in her arms, so it adds a new puzzle against the Aces versus the NECA situation. Because NECA plays more of a center forward type situation. And
but she's undersized for that position.
Right. And so she doesn't really protect the rim like Cam Brink does. So it was just immediately a different look.
Yeah.
As the game opened up, I realized Asia clocked in and came to work. Asia had a quick 6 points to start the game, and they're really feeding Asia early.
I feel like they had to because no one else could really get anything to fall yesterday. At least in those opening minutes.
Correct. And we saw a shot from Jackie, I believe. We saw a shot from Chelsea. And Asia was the one that was realizing that it was going to be on her early. But she had to get around Cam, which was an interesting look as I was watching the game. As soon as Jewell checked in, though, Jewell was able to start hitting a couple threes and get pretty active. One thing I did notice, though, that they had Jewell seem to have a primary assignment on Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, and Jackie seemed to be switching off on KP. And it makes a lot of sense because KP runs around like a madwoman. Like, she's constantly going off of screens, and then when she has the ball, she's constantly driving. So you want people to split that assignment so they're not getting too tired. But yeah, it seemed like it was Jackie on her, and then when Jackie wasn't in, because unfortunately Jackie was in foul trouble yesterday, it was Jewell. And it seemed like the Sparks' whole purpose was to get those two off of KP so KP could go to work.
And early KP's work was kind of quiet. She was getting assists. She was getting in there. But the Aces were able to maintain the lead early.
So, I mean, not really, because she had 14 in the first quarter, and they were ahead. And then she didn't score in the second, and the Aces took the lead. And then she was like, oh, yeah, I need to score more. And then the Sparks took the lead and never looked back.
Right. And so, and that really did that in the third. But before the half, though, like you said, they were able to shut her down in the second quarter after she kind of went off in the first. In the first quarter, the Aces gave up 30 points, or 32 points, which is not really like them, which was a real interesting situation for them. They couldn't seem to stop her. And with Jackie not being out there, the Aces' perimeter defense was pretty lacking.
Yeah.
One name that we talk about often is Chennedy Carter. Once again, she had a fantastic day, as we talked about. Her shooting, immaculate. Her firing threes, going 4 for 4 from three, was a great benefit for the Aces. But when Chennedy was out there, I was noticing that though she was cooking her defender, they were seeming to set up a lot of screens to put Jewell off KP and a switcher onto Kennedy. I don't know if you noticed that.
So it felt like LA was dropping hard on Kennedy yesterday, because you saw Kennedy, instead of going to the rim yesterday, she was settling for mid-range and shooting threes. And I think it's because the paint was crowded, because they were like, we want to make her shoot, which makes sense because Kennedy's got to the rim at will the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And she beat them shooting yesterday, but I think more often than not, that's probably the play.
Right. And make her have to put the ball up, especially with her her normal game of being able to penetrate and Cam roaming the paint, which is what Cam Brink does. By the way, I thought that was pretty phenomenal. Watching Cam Brink do that, it reminded me of like Wemby because of her outsized size comparatively. It seemed almost abnormal.
She's so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just like, it's remarkable how long she is. Like, she's tall, but it's like the length that she has.
I wonder what Cameron Brink's wingspan is.
I have no idea, but she's long, because the block that she fouled out on looked clean to me, and it just seemed like she just reached up into the sky and was like, "This is mine." I don't think she jumped.
6'8" wingspan.
It seems longer.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive feat from her. So, but because of her being situated where she was, Kennedy couldn't really get to the rim without the possibility of that ball getting blocked. So she was selling for jump shots, but they were going in. Her, along with Jewell, seemed to really be able to put the Aces into a position going into the half that things weren't too dire.
Right.
Especially because in that second quarter, they were able to hold the Sparks to 14 points as opposed to the 32 they gave up in the first. And, I mean, in the post-game, Asia talked about it, that there's just times that they are not engaged on defense. For whatever reason, they decided that the second quarter they were going to be engaged, she said. And then, the rest of the game, we saw what happened.
And as I said, I was going to talk about numbers a lot. Right now, this team really needs to be engaged on defense, because yesterday we saw it. They're kind of getting the victim of being outmatched. And what I mean by that is they got to be super efficient. So we've talked about in the last couple of weeks how, like, they really own the paint. And they've been, they got to get 50, 60 points in the paint, which they did not have yesterday. I think yesterday they had, let me go back and look. They had 40 points in the paint. LA had 36. They lost by 6 points. LA hit 14 threes. They hit 10. We haven't been a volume 3-point shooting team. We shoot 20.7 per game. That's 13th in the league.
Yeah.
We're 9th in percentage, which is fine. That's, middle of the pack. But we either need to A, shoot more threes, or B, get more free throws, because we don't shoot a lot of free throws either. We are 14th in the league at shooting free throws and 14th in makes. So that's a lot of points you're just leaving on the floor, which means your defense has to be good, because otherwise you just have to make more twos than everyone else. And basketball has gone the way of, we're going to shoot more threes, because if we make a third of our threes, that's the same as making half your twos.
Right. I mean, the math is there.
Yeah.
The math is there. And so with the Aces not shooting too many threes and then settling for jump shots, or long twos, I should say, it definitely changed the math for them while they were out there, especially for Chennedy Carter. Jewell, like I said, Jewell was shooting the ball, and she made them early. She ends the game with 10 points, but she ends up going 3 from 11 in total from 3. Because, like, her first 3 came, like, in that first half, and then that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, as a whole, the team shot 10 of 29 from 3, And it was Kennedy's 4, Asia hit 2, Jewell hit 3, and NaLyssa hit a bailout 3 at the end of a shot clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Outside of that, there was no set 3-point shots that were really taking hold. In fact, at the end of the game, Chelsea Gray takes a 3 that could have tied it up, and uncharacteristically, she missed it.
Yeah. And I mean, yesterday was a bad shooting game, but she went 0 for 5 from 3 yesterday. Jackie was 0 of 2 from 3 yesterday. Stephanie Talbot was 0 for 1. She's still looking for her first 3 made for the season. Like,
which is not what they brought her in for.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what's going on here, because we didn't think we were going to be shooting the lights out, but they need to put up more threes and make more threes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the defense has to be better than what we've seen, because your margin of error is so small.
Agreed wholeheartedly. One thing that I thought was very interesting was that normally we see, mentioning Chelsea Gray, we normally see Chelsea's passes find the pocket, find right where they're supposed to go. But yesterday it seemed as if De'Erica and Kelsey gave them the playbook and said that when Chelsea looks like this, the pass is going here, so disrupt it.
Yeah.
It really seemed as if they were keyed in as to what her passes looked like. Looked like. I don't know if you noticed that.
It almost felt like it noticed. LA seemed like they always had their hands up and were ready for the passing lanes in the way that no other opponent this season has. But it also felt like the pace of the game, because it was played so fast, which credit to the Aces for not really fouling yesterday, which is something we've been harping for most of the season, is they, for the first time, they actually shot more free throws than their opponents. And still, they didn't shoot a lot of free throws, but they shot more than their opponents. But it felt like the pace of the game led to a lot of turnovers on both sides, because they were just trying to be out there and run, which led to unnecessary turnovers.
Right. I mean, there's a whole sequence where the ball gets stolen, Chennedy Carter does a layup, then the Sparks check out the ball, they try to dribble quickly, Erica Wheeler tries to dribble quickly, gets caught up again by Chennedy Carter, and ends up bouncing the ball out of bounds. And then on that same on the next possession, when it's the Aces ball, the Aces had some kind of moving violation and gave the ball right back.
Yeah, and it's rough watching that, because it's like, if you guys just took your time, slowed down the game, you need to be more efficient.
That would really help a lot.
Yeah.
The defense in the second half was very similar to that in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. Swiss cheese defense.
And it goes back to what I was saying. If you trying to outscore them, you can't get outmathed, because LA is shooting more threes than you. Like, you're going to have to make a majority of your twos, and you just weren't.
Right. And that ended up being a major problem for the Aces, because no one's shot seemed to be on.
Yeah.
You know who, though, was getting buckets? NaLyssa Smith.
Yeah, she was.
I noticed it was a big NaLyssa game, big Kennedy game once again, and then Asia ends up in 20-plus double figures. All three of them. But the thing that was the most impressive to me was the way that NaLyssa would follow up shots, how she would grab boards, how she would dish them out. She was an all-around team player.
I mean, NaLyssa is the reason why Cam Brink was in foul trouble, because she drew 2 or 3 of those fouls.
She would out-rebound. Yep, get an O-board, bounce on the ground, then go back up. But Cam Brink has wandered over there to make a block and ends up making connection with NaLyssa.
Yep.
And that happened a few times.
And that's why Cam Brink was in foul trouble, and that's why De'Erica Hamby was in foul trouble, and they both ended up eventually fouling out of the game because of the work NaLyssa was doing down there.
Yeah. When Cam Brink was on the bench, that's when Asia was able to get active a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She was able to really score the rock, be able to move it around, do what she needed to do to try to direct this team to a win. I thought that was a pretty interesting jump in by her in terms of like when Cam's not on the floor, she's able to really get cooking.
Yeah, like we don't think of Cameron Brink as a defensive presence yet. Like she's still very young and very raw, but you
Mm-hmm.
could see why she went second overall
Yeah.
or third overall right after Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin. Yeah.
She she's going to be a factor in the league, and I'm just hoping it's later rather than sooner. I want the Aces to get some more titles.
um, one thing I thought that was interesting was that Jackie was in foul trouble.
Yes.
I don't even remember her picking up those early fouls.
So they were off of like yesterday's game was tough because I'm not watching at home, I'm watching in the stands. So there's a lot of calls that without the benefit of seeing a replay, I can see it and I'm like, yeah, that's a foul, but like basketball is so subjective with fouls that what's a foul to one ref may not necessarily be a foul to another ref. So is it a foul? Sure, but it's a soft foul. So it may not be a foul tomorrow. So Jackie was the victim of a few of those, the same way that I felt like Cam Brink and De'Erica were a victim to a few of those. People were in foul trouble on some pretty soft fouls.
True, true. The the fact that I didn't even notice that Jackie had picked up 3 fouls early, I
Mhm.
thought that was a very interesting part because, like you said, they were soft fouls, but I'm sure there were fouls that I didn't expect to be called as fouls that she got whistled on.
Yeah, I think one was a pretty weak blocking call in the first quarter, and then the other one was a reach. And the reach was her fighting through a screen, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I remember the blocking foul one where I thought it was definitely going the other way,
Yeah.
but
And there
they
were
called it on Jackie.
multiple people called for blocking fouls yesterday that I felt should have been no calls. Because it's like if they just dribble into your chest when you're backing up, you have nowhere to go. It's not a blocking foul.
Because there's nothing to block.
Yeah. Like I didn't step sideways into your path, so it's not a blocking foul. You ran through me.
I mean, that's a
It's
good
not a
point.
charge because I'm moving, but
Right,
it's not a block either.
right. I mean, that's a very good point. By That's not how they were calling it yesterday, but that's what I would think.
And that's the thing. So like the pivotal play at the end of the game with De'Erica, with the charge on Jewell that they overturned into a
A
foul
shooting
on
foul.
Jewell,
Yeah.
we couldn't see it on the replay in the stadium. But as soon as it happened, I said, Jewell got there in time. The question is, was her feet in the restricted area? We
Right.
never got a good replay to see it, but they overturned it. So I have to assume that her feet were in the restricted area.
Because all that was over was at the basket. All of that
Yes.
foul and all that contact was at the basket.
Yeah. So that's the only explanation I can come up with was her feet were still in the restricted area. Because to me, from the replays they showed, she was set.
Right. Right. Well, the Aces then so they came out a little flat after at the half. They ended up getting back up. I believe they took the lead again, but that fourth quarter. That was the KP show. It was all KP all the time.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not losing today.
And mind you, the Aces had already checked back in Jackie and checked her out with her 5th foul.
Were you surprised that when she went out early in the fourth with her 5th foul that we did not see her again?
Good question.
I'll say I was because I thought we were going to get her back at about 4 or 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
The fact that she did not come back in, I know she had a rough shooting game in Atlanta
Yeah.
and she was 0 for 2 yesterday, but she's our second best player. You have to give her a chance to shoot herself out of it.
And I think that normally Becky would, but Kennedy was doing such a good job cooking and getting cooked, but cooking, that I think that trumped everything.
That's fair, but
If that makes sense.
true. But at the same time, LA was hunting her on defense.
The Aces were trying to hunt KP.
And it's funny. It's funny you say that. Like Kennedy was cooking. When you look at the plus minus stats, which is just a catch-all stat, Kennedy was the only person on our team who was positive yesterday. Kennedy was plus 15. Jewell was at 0. Everyone else was negative. Which means we only outscored them when Kennedy was on the floor.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else seemed a little passive. Once again, though, this was another banner night. This was another night ceremony for the Aces, so them losing on banner night, not necessarily a surprise.
But there wasn't nearly as much pomp and circumstance as there was the first game.
True.
Like if you didn't get there early, you could have entirely missed the banner because all they did was like, "Hey, this is going up,"
and then they
all right,
slowly
it's up.
raised it.
Yeah, like the rings was a whole ceremony. The banner just went up.
Right. With going back to Chennedy Carter real fast, when she was in, the offense seemed to flow well. The internet has been calling to replace Jackie with Kennedy. Do you think, not should she be replaced, that's not what I'm going to ask. But
No, I know. I'm shaking my head at the internet.
Yes, but I was going to say, do you think that we should be seeing more minutes from Kennedy?
No. And I say that from the fact that I think she's in a sweet spot right now. We've talked about it before where I think she benefits greatly from attacking the second unit. Right now, she's sitting at 22.2 minutes. Part of the reason those minutes are down is because 4 of our 6 games have been blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, her minutes are probably going to get up to 26 to 28 minutes per game. Maybe they go down when Dana Evans comes back.
Right.
But at 26 to 28 minutes per game in a 8, maybe 9 woman rotation, I think she's playing more than enough. Because if you're taking, like, who are you taking minutes from? Because Asia's playing 36 to 38. Jackie should be playing 36 to 38. Chelsea should be playing 32 to 36.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a math.
So then, yeah, it's a math
for a big. The last spot's for a big.
Yeah, and then NaLyssa's going to be playing 30.
Maybe, or they like to do a lot of run with Bree Jones, or not Bree Jones, with Brianna Turner.
So NaLyssa was at 28 yesterday. She's only averaging 20 for the season right now, which
Right.
they've been doing a lot of single big lineups with Asia.
Right, that's true too.
Maybe we just see more of that, and that's how you get Kennedy more minutes.
Right.
But if we're going to run more single big lineups, then again, we have to shoot more threes / be a better 3-point shooting team, or we need to get to the line more because we need more points.
Yeah. Ultimately, the Aces gave up 100 points, which is not reticent for this defense. This is not something they normally do.
Yeah.
When the game was all over, I looked at it and I realized that Cheyenne Parker-Tyus never played, and Brianna Turner was off the bench earlier.
Yes.
I'm not one to hear to question what Becky does, but that did not seem like the right combination for me.
I feel like Brianna Turner's game is limited in the same way that Becky pigeonholed Kia Stokes. And I don't think Kia Stokes' game was limited because, like, Kia could shoot. Like she could step out 15 to 20 feet and shoot. She hit a 3 against New York the other night.
Yeah.
It's just that Becky wanted her near the rim to grab boards. I don't think Brianna has that kind of range.
Right.
And like, if she doesn't have that kind of range, you want more people to space the floor because you have the most dominant big in basketball in Asia Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And granted, Brianna Turner doesn't really play with Asia.
Right. Not usually. Yesterday she played a few minutes, but yes, not usually.
And that's why her minutes are low. But like, we would be better off with Cheyenne and having her and NaLyssa play together and have 2 offensive options as bigs than have essentially a dump off option in Brianna Turner, because she essentially has to sit in the dunker spot when she's playing with Chennedy.
Right. Did you notice though that Becky didn't play Cheyenne?
Oh, I noticed it very early when Brianna Turner came in, and it wasn't Cheyenne, because Cheyenne has been the first big off the bench.
Right.
And it was Brianna Turner this time, and I was like, that's weird.
I thought so too. I thought that was an interesting decision. It ended up leading to an Aces loss, but I'm sure when they play the Sparks again for the 3rd time this season, they're not going to forget this, just like the Sparks didn't forget what happened in their last game against the Aces.
Right.
All in all, though, CJ, it was banner night. The banner was going up. What do you think of the new 2025 banner?
I think it looks pretty similar to the 2022 and 2023 banner.
So when it rose and it went up there, I was like, oh man, this is ugly because it's black and white. Whereas everything else has the red in it. I thought that to myself. This is your first banner ceremony that you were attended in person, yes?
No, I was there for the 2023 one.
Okay. How did you feel about the raising of the banner yesterday?
I felt like they did more with the 2023 one than they did with this one.
Yeah, the players weren't out there. It was just staff. The banner comes out of what looks like a box.
Yeah.
Has some
also
books attached to it.
I also felt like in 2023 they actually put it up on like its final resting place immediately, versus this time they just raised it up straight up to the rafters, and then during the game they just slid it into where it was supposed to go.
They had like a black curtain covering it, and then in the middle of the first quarter, beginning of the first quarter, they just unveiled the banner already up there.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Anything else from the banner itself?
We're gonna have to figure out where to put KP's name after yesterday.
Sneak Kelsey Plum in there somewhere.
Yeah, because she definitely earned her spot after that, and if we don't put her name on there, she's probably going to do that the next time she comes to Las Vegas.
Speaking of KP, right? It has now been a year since she played for the Las Vegas Aces. Do you think the Aces did the right thing by getting rid of her? How's the formula working for these years without KP? Especially with this being like the first time she was able to come back and really just cook the Aces.
So I'm extremely biased. I adopted the University of Washington since my wife is a Husky. KP is a Husky, so I'm always going to be cheering for her.
Yeah.
And then, that was my girl. I love KP. So I felt like she shouldn't have walked, but she wanted to walk, and I felt like I don't think there was anything the Aces could have done to keep her.
Yeah, from what I remember listening to the Sue Bird podcast, Bird's Eye View, I believe, is the episode I was looking at, and KP talked about, when she was first there, she was the lead dog, and then they drafted Asia, and she was asked to take a little bit less, but she's like, she would set back screens for Asia all day, so that's not an issue. Mm-hmm. But then we started forcing. Yeah, they took the Aces take Jackie, and then they start forcing Jackie as a number 2 option to Asia's number 1, and then now KP says she's basically the third banana, sometimes fourth banana, because sometimes her minutes are sacrificed for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Her numbers are sacrificed for Chelsea. So she said getting out of there and starting anew and leading this young team was what she wanted to do. One thing that's interesting, the team is not as young as it was when she got there. But, I mean, with Julie Van Loo gone and with Azura Stevens gone, it's not as young as it once was.
Yeah.
And Ricky
I don't think that it was a messy breakup. I think that Kelsey was just I've done everything that I needed to do there, and I need to go prove to myself I can do this on my own.
Right.
Right. So was it a mistake to let her go? Yes, you don't let one of the 10 best players in the league walk.
Right.
But if she's leaving, you make the best out of a bad situation. It was like when LeBron left Cleveland. Well, you're leaving anyway. I guess we're going to get a couple of second-round picks in the deal because we got to take whatever we can get because you're leaving.
Right.
We got Jewell Loyd, which was great,
mm-hmm.
but you got to figure something out because at the end of the day, you can get something or you can get zero.
Right. And something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Has the Aces been able to really replace KP's production?
No. And we talked about it earlier this season and in the preseason with Chennedy Carter being a proxy for it. But you saw KP shooting yesterday. That's what the Aces miss.
She was 6 for 7 from 3. I mean, that says it all. And now, mind you, there were some games where she couldn't hit the broadside of the barn.
But it's the gravity. It's the fact that she's a threat out there. It stretches the defense in a way that there's more space in the paint because they have to respect the 3-point shot so far out.
Right. I think the Aces can really replace the production that they got from Kelsey Plum if they can get Chennedy Carter's shot to go in with more frequency.
Yes.
She's just as fast, if not faster, than Kelsey Plum. She admittedly is a better finisher.
Yes.
And if you add the 3-point shot, that just adds another layer to that game.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, we don't need Chennedy Carter to be an amazing shooter. We just need her to be a league average 3-point shooter so that people have to respect her shot.
Right, and know that's happening.
Because if she's a bad shooter, you just go under every screen and you sit paint and you make her shoot. But if she's a solid shooter, you have to step up to her. And if you have to step up to her, she will go by you.
Right. Right. And I think that as long as the defense continues to come along as well, I think they have a replacement for Kelsey Plum in Chennedy Carter. But it's not there yet. And they need a little help for her to get there.
Yeah, because Chennedy Carter, she tries on defense. She has very active hands and she's getting steals.
Yeah.
But you can't teach size. And it's hard because she's small. She's 5'8"?
Yeah. 5'8", 5'9", something like that.
Yeah. They're going to hunt her on defense because of her size.
Yeah. I also think that the Aces don't need Kelsey Plum. They won a championship without her, but they were able to replace that production in a person like Chennedy Carter. So as long as that continues to come along, you mold her along with Jewell's 3-point shooting, then you have Timu Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all you need, and that's all the Aces have, so that's what they're going to have to just go with.
Yes.
Speaking of who they have, let's go to the stock report, CJ. Whose stock is up, whose stock is down this week?
Stock up, NaLyssa Smith. She is owning the paint, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Asia is letting her have it.
Yeah.
Asia has been stepping out and shooting more threes, and she's only shooting 2.2 threes per game, which doesn't sound like a lot, but her career high is 2.3. And Asia's hitting an absurd 61% of her threes this season, which again, 6 games, small sample size. She's only shooting 2 threes a game, but she shot 42% last year, which was 6th in the league. So
Right.
she is a good 3-point shooter. We talked about it in the preseason. I said, I don't know if the Aces are better if she stops shooting as many middies and shoots more threes because of the volume. But if NaLyssa can continue to pound the paint, grab O boards, and be efficient, the Aces are a much better team because Asia is a good 3-point shooter.
I'm just trying to think in my head, like, is there, because I mean the shot's still funky, right? So I'm trying to think, like, is shooting more really going to help? I mean, because one of the real strengths of NaLyssa Smith's game is her rebounding.
Yes.
And she was able to draw a lot of fouls with that rebounding.
Well, think of it this way. When you have NaLyssa Smith able to pound the paint while Asia's out there working the 3-point line or the mid-range, and then NaLyssa Smith goes out, and now Asia can pound the paint. That makes it a lot harder on the defense. And it saves Asia's body because she's not pounding the paint every game for the 44-game season. Like, it's better for the team in the long run because our goal isn't to win every night. Our goal is to win the championship.
Right. And the goal to win the championship, it definitely helps with that rebounding.
Yes.
One thing, another person whose stock I felt like was up, Jewell Loyd. Jewell coming off the bench, though she's only shooting like 25% from 3. Her defense is really what's standing out to me. They're putting her on the toughest defender, the toughest assignment each game, especially in these last couple games with Jackie not being at the top of her game. We've seen Jewell pick up Alicia Gray a lot in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
We saw her on Kelsey Plum in this past game right here. I didn't realize that they're going to rely on Jewell to be such a defensive stalwart.
Yeah, it's funny because her nickname was Gold Mamba because of her scoring ability.
Right.
And she comes here and she's had to learn a completely new role on the fly, and she's gotten good at it. But it's funny that we can just be like, oh, yeah, you go chase the best offensive player on the team and lock them down. And by the way, if we need you to drop 30, you still can.
Yeah. You're a person that can do that if called upon, which is a plus.
Oh, but we don't need you to.
Right. We have other people for that. And that's all Chennedy does is get buckets. That's it. So
it's funny that the Aces have 5 people that can go off at any point. Like you have Asia, you have Chennedy, you have Jackie, you have Jewell, and you have Chelsea.
Yeah,
any of them can go off any game.
6 because it's not like Cheyenne can't.
True.
When she was in Atlanta, that's some of the things that she was doing. That's what made her an all-star that year.
Yeah,
because she was the primary, and so it's not like she couldn't if they needed her to.
Right.
But Asia's
we saw, and NaLyssa scored 22 yesterday.
Right. Because that, if you will, weak side, not having Neko over there, it allowed NaLyssa to really get the ball up and towards the rim, especially with those offensive rebounds that she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
One person whose stock is down is Jackie Young. I feel like I got to say that. Jackie's had 2 games where she's gone over. Yesterday, she had a lot of foul trouble, as we talked about. But I know there's something going on in her personal life, for sure. But unfortunately, I have to say the stock is down for her because it's not looking great with whatever's going on personally.
I agree, but I'm not worried about her.
Uh-huh.
And I say that from the sense that, like, for all intents and purposes, yes, the Atlanta game was a train wreck, but she was 0 for 2 yesterday. A small sample size. Anybody can miss 2 shots. And then 5 fouls, as we talked about earlier. The fouls were soft yesterday on both sides, and it was 19 minutes. So she was in foul trouble. I'm just going to throw that game away. Like, it happens. And we've only had one game this week. Let's check in on Thursday. That's when their next game is.
But what about the 0 for 12 in Atlanta?
It's a bad day. People have bad days.
Yeah.
Shoot or shoot. I mean, I've seen Steph Curry go like 0 for 13.
Wow.
He's the best shooter on the planet.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah, it happens.
I think you're right. Her stock's down this week just because we can't overlook 2 0-point games. And also in the Atlanta game, she was able to be real active on defense. In this game, she was left out a lot.
Yeah. And ultimately, the reason I'm not going to be too worried about her is she herself said that her goal this season is to be first team all defense. And if that's your goal, like, your shot will come back. She didn't, unless she ran into the Monstars, we shouldn't be worried about her.
Okay, here's the thing. We can't rule that out, all right? They came from Moron Mountain. We did not know that's what happened to Charles or Sean Bradley or Muggsy Bogues. And then, all of a sudden, there's an intergalactic space game played with retired Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes crew. But they literally took their powers. What if that happened for Space Jam 3 right now, and that's why Jackie Young looks like this?
What other 4 players lost their talent?
Great question. Looking around the league. I was going to say Caitlin Clark, but she seems to be okay right now.
I can solve this for you. Most of the NBA is in the offseason, and they could be pulling from NBA and WNBA players.
Ooh, that's a good point. So you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know. I was just thinking about purely WNBA players. I'm sure one of them saw Jackie Young in them play. It got broadcast on Moron Mountain, and they were like, Jackie Young, we need to get her powers. No?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm glad they grabbed her and not Asia.
Fair.
I mean, let's be real.
Fair.
I hate to say it, but if you had to take one, okay.
Yeah. I'd rather it be Jackie than Asia, because if it was Asia, I don't know what we'd be doing.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around the league, Teach. Currently, the Atlanta Dreamers sit in first place. They're 4-1 after today's game. They narrowly won today with I saw a clip. Angel ended up stealing the inbound pass from the baseline to seal the game for them. The Aces are sitting in second with a 4-2 record. The Fever are in third with a 4-2 record.
4-0. The Aces are 4-0 away from home and 0-2 at home. Are we the problem?
I was gonna say they're about to get back on the road again, so hopefully they can get back to their winning ways while they're out there.
If they go 3-0 on this road trip and they come back and lose to the Valkyries in 2 weeks, I might stop going to the games. I'm just saying.
Well,
maybe it's us.
It might be us. I want to know what's going on with the Liberty, though. The Liberty dropped another one today against the Dallas Wings, so they're now 3-3.
Did you watch the Valkyrie game on Thursday?
I watched some of it.
The Valkyrie controlled that game beginning to end. I watched the whole thing. I was very surprised to see how they controlled that game because I wanted to watch the game because the Valkyries number one in defense, the Liberty were averaging 100 points a game. It's, like I want to see what's going on. The Liberty did not look great.
Right.
And then today, I don't know if the Liberty had struggled because they were trying to get Sabrina back in the lineup. It was her first game back. I'm shocked she played 31 minutes. I didn't see that much of the game today. But, I'm not worried about them in the same way that I'm not worried about the Aces because their goal is to win a championship. So as long as they make the playoffs, it doesn't matter if they're 1 or 8, they're a title threat.
Right. Right. They got Satu back. They got Sabrina back. They're looking at as close to full strength as they can look. Yet, like you said, it seems to be a fit issue. Sabrina had 11 points. Satu had 20.
Yeah. And Satu's first game was Thursday.
Yeah. Both JJ and Stewie had 14 apiece. Yet they still fell to the Wings.
Right.
The Wings had a big game from AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd had 24 points today. And Paige had 24 herself. AZ was 6 for 12 from 3, which is what they drafted her for. That's the thing that they talked about. This Dallas team, I know the coach got in their asses a little bit, but it might have worked.
This Dallas team, we talked about it before the season when they put boots to ass in the preseason game. I still think they're a year or two away, but they're going to be a headache. I hope they stay in headache range and don't become a problem.
Right. Right.
Because I think they should be fighting for that 7 and 8 seed. They should be, somebody that we're probably going to have to face in the first round.
Right.
I don't want them to be higher than that because that could be a problem for us because it means they figured things out.
Agreed. One team that is a problem for us, the Atlanta Dream, they won another game today, so now they're 4-1. They beat the Phoenix Mercury, who beat us, but they're only 2-5 on the season. Still, obviously, early sample size. They don't have Akani back yet for the Mercury. She just returned from overseas, so she should be getting into their lineup soon. Even with that being the case, 21 points from Ryan Howard, 17 from Angel Reese, 18 from Alicia Gray, another 11 from Jordan Canada, and the fact that Angel Reese had another double-double with 10 rebounds, while Jordan Canada had a double-double with 14 assists.
How many me-bounds did Angel have?
I don't know, but she had 10 rebounds.
He had 5 me-bounds.
That's the thing, though. They're not even necessarily me-bounds. That's so crazy to me because, she had 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Which is, I was trying to explain to somebody that doesn't mean that they're all hers full.
I know, but I like to assume they are, just because she was 6 of 16, and I wouldn't even be clowning her, but she's the one that termed me bounds, so now I have to use it.
She trademarked it. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. The Dream are going to be a problem, man. We stole one.
I told you they're tier 2. Aces Liberty tier 1, Dreamer tier 2.
I don't think they're tier 2. I think they're right there with us. They're terrifying. And I love them. I love that team, but it's just
tier 2 should be terrifying.
Yeah.
Because if one thing goes wrong, they're right there with you.
Scary. It's scary work.
Yeah.
Scoring is still up, dude.
Yeah, so as I talked about with numbers, I have another number to throw at you. So scoring still up. New York still leads the league at 94 points per game, down from 100 last week. Free throw attempts are way up this year. and I know we've been talking about fouls and everything being up, and the WNBA has said that they wanted to like curtail the physical play and get the free throws, like call more fouls, blah, 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 whatever. Last year, free throw attempts, Washington led at 20.7 per game. Phoenix leads this season at 27.5. That's 7 more free throws per game.
Yeah.
Not only does Phoenix lead at 7 more free throws per game than Washington last year, which again, small sample size, season's early, whatever. There's 11 teams above 20.7, which means everyone is shooting more free throws. You know who's not shooting more free throws? The Aces. They should be above that 20.7 also.
Yeah, they're not drawing enough fouls.
Exactly.
And it's not from lack of trying. We watched them throw their hands up. We watched them complain just like everybody else. But it's not. But their scoring is still up. Their scoring is still up as well, mainly because Chennedy Carter gets 20 plus off the bench every game.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. They're not getting to the line enough.
No, they're not. They got to work harder. And I don't mean that in like, I'm saying they need to work harder, but because they're not getting to the line more and because they're not hitting more threes, they actually have to work harder because they have to make more twos.
Right. Because of the math, just the pure math of it.
It's the math of it.
So, CJ, with all that being said, the Aces are back on the road again. They're getting another few days off again before they pull up in Dallas on the 28th on Thursday. And then they're up to the Valkyrie in Golden State on the 31st of May. I believe the Commissioner Cup begins with another game against the Sparks.
Yep, that'll be in LA on June 2nd. So we should have another pod coming to you after the Valkyrie game next week where we get to preview the Commissioner Cup in all its glory.
Yeah. Aces are one-time Commissioner Cup champions. Hopefully they can repeat as that again. I wouldn't say repeat. I mean, they can once again win the Commissioner Cup.
They could be, if they win the Commissioner Cup, they would have the most Commissioner Cup titles in WNBA history.
Don't you love them stats, dog? Don't you love them stats?
With 2.
Oh, man. So, like, with that, yes, you're right. We'll be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Appreciate y'all, you guys tapping into the Aces Era podcast. You can find us everywhere at Aces Era Podcast, the outside of Aces Era Podcast. We're on all your social media. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your people. Tell everyone to watch or listen to the Aces Era Podcast. I'm Kevin. That's CJ. We'll catch y'all next time for the Aces Era. We out.
Peace.
Boom, boom, boom.